let's begin with a general understanding of ServiceNow discovery. Could you explain what horizontal and top-down discovery are and how they differ?
Yeah, sure. Horizontal discovery focuses on scanning a network to find computers and devices, then update the CMDB with these configuration items. It creates direct relationship between CIs, like application running on a specific machine, but the only difference is that it does not account for any business services. In contrast, top-down discovery is used by service mapping to identify and map the CIs that are a part of a business services. Like, for example, an email service or a website. It highlights the relationship between different components such as Apache Tomcat web server, a Windows server, and the database that store that services.
How do horizontal discovery and top-down discovery typically work together in ServiceNow?
Horizontal discovery usually runs first to identify the basic CIs like computer and devices. Once these CIs are in CMDB updated properly, top-down discovery map the relationship between the CIs that form the business services, helping to create a more service-oriented view.
In the context of ServiceNow discovery, what are probes and sensors and how do they function?
So both of these probes and sensors are basically scripts that help gather and process data from network. Probes are responsible for exploring and investigating the CIs, while sensors parse the data collected by the probes and update the CMDB. So various scripts, options, and commands are available in these probes and sensor. A probe might check a device for open port, and the sensor then interpret the finding, determine what should be done with that information.
Can you explain the difference between probes and patterns in discovery?
Yes, sure. Probe and sensors are mainly used to explore and classify CIs, and they are written in a JavaScript language. Patterns, on the other hand, are more comprehensive, written in Nebula discovery language, yes, different language, and come into play in later stages of discovery processes. While probe collect specific data points, pattern perform a series of operations that can identify and explore a CI more deeply, especially during horizontal discovery.
What are the different phases in the horizontal discovery process?
Horizontal discovery consists of four main phases. The very first one is scanning. In scanning, the Sejam probe is sent out to scan the network and detect the open ports on the devices which are there in the network. Then we have classification. Once the devices are found, it means the ports are open. Additional probes are sent to determine the type of devices and its operating system. Then we have identification phase. In this phase, discovery check whether a CI is already exist in the CMDB for that device or not. If not, it will create a new CI. If it is already exist, it will update the CI with necessary changes which are available. Finally, we have the exploration phase. In exploration phase, additional probes are launched to gather more information. For example, like applications are running on that devices, its memory, its network details, network configurations, so and so.
Can you walk me through how a MID server fits into the discovery process?
Yes, definitely. The mid server plays a crucial role in discovery process as it acts as an intermediary between ServiceNow instance and the target network. It initiates all the communications and processes the discovery instruction from ServiceNow. It is the mid server that execute the probe, collect data, and send the result back to the instance where sensors will process that data. So it is very much important. All this discovery is possible because of this mid server only. It is also providing a secure communication that is also very much needed.
What are some of the different types of discovery available in ServiceNow?
Yeah, ServiceNow supports several type of discoveries. The very first one is network discovery. In this, it will find the internal IPs in an organization. Then we have CI discovery. It is the standard discovery to find devices, computer, and its associated applications. Then we have cloud discovery. It focuses on finding cloud resources such as Azure, AWS, and various others. Then we have serverless discovery. In this discovery, it discovers applications on the host machine without needing to discover the host first. It relies basically on the patterns.
How does ServiceNow ensure secure communication during the discovery process?
As I already mentioned, all the communications during the discovery process is initiated by mid servers and it is secured using SOAP over HTTPS. This means that the communications are encrypted and they start from inside the organizational firewalls. No special firewall rules or VPNs are needed here because the mid server take care of securely transmitting the data back to the instance. So that's why mid server is the key in discovery process.
In terms of custom discovery, can you modify or create new probes and sensors?
Yes, it is very much possible. Probes and sensors are highly customizable. You can modify the default probe and sensors to collect different data or to create entirely new ones depending on what information you want, what you need, or what you want to gather from the devices into the organizational networks. It is basically the commands, right? So you can write the command, you can modify the commands according to your need.
Finally, how does the use of patterns unify the identification and exploration phases in horizontal discovery?
So when patterns are used, they streamline the identification and exploration phases. Instead of sending additional probes, a horizontal pattern probe is triggered, and the operations in the pattern handle both identification and exploration. This method simplifies the discovery process, allowing discovery to insert or update CIs in the CMDB based on the rules specified in the pattern. So that's why patterns are more useful, you can say. They are doing the same work, but in a more intelligent way. I can say that.